It's Jay Henry's Sports Desk.
Yes, it is Texas OU week, and while it is unfortunate my last name contains an OU in it, we know the best way to fix that. Insert the UT. I love everything about this week. It's as good as it gets. Besides Texas OU, A&M Alabama, TCU Kansas, Tennessee LSU, I mean, nothing beats college football.
There'll be a packed house tonight, and the first pitch on the way from Tinoco, very high, ball one.
Haha, very funny. Don't start doing this. Every weekend we deal with this interruption of college football for Aaron Judge. And frankly, it's just...
They believe they may have to sell standing room only for this game for the first time this year. And there is strike one.
Listen.
Feel helps the flight of the ball. And that ball is crushed deep out to left. And history has landed in Arlington.
Yes, Aaron Judge did it. That means it's over. Our national nightmare is finally over. No more interrupting college football for that. Hallelujah. And congratulations, Aaron Judge. You did it. You finally got within 11 of the all-time MLB home run record for home runs in a season, and you allowed us to go back to talking Texas OU. And the impact Jatavion Sanders will make this week against Oklahoma. Sanders already with 20 catches and 3 touchdowns this year, on pace to become the most prolific tight end since Jermichael Finley at Texas in 2007. He's finding a good rapport with Hudson Card and Quinn Ewers, and he's making his name well known.
JT's he's a great talent.
Y'all saw it Saturday, but that's every day.
Finally tonight, another big loss in the Austin sports community. Concordia head baseball coach Tommy Boggs died this morning after a short bout with throat cancer. Coach Boggs was a pillar of the Austin baseball community, winning more games at Concordia than any baseball coach in program history. Tommy Boggs was 66. The Rangers drafted Boggs second overall in the 1974 draft. He was the pride of Lanier High School and played 9 years in the big leagues. Stay with us back after this.
Well, Rick Barnes's return to the Irwin Center Saturday night was met with nothing but love here, but it is an entire 180 tonight in Lubbock.
Yeah, here we go. Sports director Bob Ballou is live on the South Plains as Texas Tech gets ready to let out its hate. It's getting nasty out there, Bob.
It really is, Walton Hama. Before that Texas-Tennessee game even ended on Saturday night, Texas Tech fans and students were already lined up outside United Supermarkets Arena so they could cheer their faces off against Texas 3 days later. Well, 3 days later is now here, and that Red Raiders fan base is full of venom because Chris Beard was building something big here and then deserted it for their biggest rival. It left the worst possible taste in their mouths.
This was already going to be a crazy game. You throw the Nature Boy into the mix, it's going to get wild. I think the fans will behave, but yeah, they're bitter. The fan base is bitter. I had to pull 2 of my commercials when Beard became one of the most disliked people in town instantly based on the type of exit he made from Lubbock, which I think he could have done a lot smoother. But yeah, we're bitter.
Bitter is really putting it nicely. Davis Smith is the founder of the Gorilla Law Firm here in Lubbock, and just to make sure the hype level was right tonight, he invited the Nature Boy Ric Flair for tonight's festivities. It's a promise Flair will get the crowd riled up because he did the same for us this afternoon.
You're going down tonight because the Texas Tech Red Raiders are going to limousine ride jet fly right here into that building tonight. Chris Beard, I'll be styling and profiling, Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing. Woo!
All right, look, you don't need me to lecture you or disagree with you or yell at you about the politics that go along with the tragic events in Uvalde. None of that helps. It's why half of me can't stand to even look at social media today. The other half, though, is why I must look at social media today, to remind myself of the stories of these beautiful kids. We all mourn these faces. We lost 19 precious children, and their parents and grandparents and brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and friends must now mourn for the rest of their lives. I believe in the power of prayer, and right now it is okay to believe that we need thoughts and prayers, but it's also okay in the same moment to believe we need to push for change. It doesn't need to be one or the other. It's okay to believe we need gun reform. It's also okay to believe we need mental health reform too. It doesn't need to be one or the other. Now is not the time to pick sides and divide us even further. Now is the time for our politicians to sit down and work to find a better answer. Republicans and Democrats alike. It doesn't need to be one or the other. According to a list on educationweek.com, this is the 27th school shooting this year. It marks roughly 400 since the turn of the century. I'm guessing if the first 26 school shootings this year and the roughly 400 since the turn of the century didn't exactly ignite a fire inside those politicians to sit down and talk, this shooting probably won't either, but maybe these innocent faces will. Australia's had 6 school shootings since 1991. Those school shootings resulted in 3 total deaths. The United States has had 6 school shootings since April 5th. Yesterday's resulted in at least 21 deaths. It really doesn't need to be one or the other, my side or your side. At this point, it's not just that we want someone to do something about it. I think we're just begging for someone to do literally anything about it. Because whatever we're doing now is one of the biggest failures we face in this country. It's not one or the other. It's putting agenda and ego aside for once and working on a solution. Please, the parents of these sweet faces were supposed to plan summer camps, not funerals. Please.
Today was, a very difficult day for our program, a unique day, one that started this morning about 7 a.m. And, once we got the news of that, our focus and my focus was with our players.
Chris Beard's walk from the Travis County Jail to his awaiting car that swept him away took all of about 30 seconds, the length of a college basketball shot clock. Now, this is probably the final time we see Beard in public for a while, but it's also possible it's his final possession as Texas Longhorns men's basketball coach. Police arrested Beard early this morning on felony third-degree assault charge. Texas suspended its head coach indefinitely without pay. Beard left the jail alongside his lawyers and answered no questions. The decision to suspend him means his future as UT's head coach is in doubt, which is truly the last thing that really matters at this point. The job of holding things together in the Texas basketball program now falls on the shoulders of coaching and support staff led by interim head coach Rodney Terry. Terry spent 9 seasons under Rick Barnes here as an assistant, and he was head coach at Fresno State and UTEP for 10 years. Terry is just starting to work through the toughest of situations.
Well, we have a veteran team. We have some young adults in the locker room. We don't have a lot of kids in the locker room. There are a lot of young adults that, throughout the course of their life, they're going to have to deal with some adversity, not just with basketball, but with the game of life. And I took our older guys, our 7 guys, that, in the rotation, and really just had a really good talk with those guys in terms of, there are going to be things like this the rest of your life, and it's how you deal with them right now, adapt and adjust. And at the end of the day, we have a job to do, and we know it's not going to be easy, but we got to come out here and we got to try to empty our tanks tonight.
So after spending all day trying to absorb the shock of losing their head coach, the Texas players took the floor against 6-2 Rice in just an odd environment. This place straight up rocking all year, felt lifeless most of the first half. Late first half, Quincy Olivari gets to the basket, draws the foul, and gets the bucket to fall. Rice opens up a 10-point lead, but just before the half, the Horns cut into that lead with a 6-0 run. Jabari Rice to Dylan Mitchell for the layup. He had 10 in the first half, Horns down 4 at the break. Then they start to find their footing early in the second half. It's Rice out on the break to a streaking Christian Bishop for the dunk. Texas back up 3. Now tied at 55, Brock Cunningham is everywhere all the time. Mr. Jorts with the steal on one end and open floor dunk on the other. He is the spark plug this team always needs. However, this game's tied late in regulation. Rice a chance to win it, but Aleem Husainovich, his jumper's off the mark, so we get overtime, and in overtime, Jabari Rice takes over the game. Rice frying Rice, if you will, and I will. He goes reverse here. Pretty gutsy effort from the Horns to end the day. Texas wins 87-81 in overtime. Here's Rodney Terry with more on what his feelings are about Chris Beard.
A guy that loves this place as much as I do, man. We love Texas. We love being a Longhorn. He loves being a Longhorn. An incredible guy. A guy that wants to win more than anybody, wants to make this university proud, both, from a basketball standpoint and really trying to get this program back to the level it was years ago. And again, that works his tail off in terms of how hard he works.
So much more to come on this Chris Beard story. We will follow it every step of the way. Stay with us. We're back after this.